Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy coming back at you with a new video. It's been quite some time, I think 4 or 5 weeks since I've made my last video, but this is going to be part 3 in my music styles video. Basically what that is going through the different genres of music that I have in my collection, but on Discogs they go by styles now, with the sub-genre thing. So basically, instead of going through all the different main genres, I'm going through a multi-part series in which I'm going through all the sub-genres. And I started with records I have in my collection where I only have one of a specific sub-genre or style, and so I'm just going to continue with that. So these 10 albums, I believe it's 10, I only have one album in my collection with this particular style or quote subgenre. So let's get started with the subgenre of African music. And I'm more familiar actually with a different album that they have called Osibi Rock. This is the band Osibisa, or as some I think in the VC might say is Osibisa. And I think that this is just a self-titled album. Yes, so this is their self-titled. And the thing that draws me to this record is not just the fact that it's kind of, I mean, it is African tribal. It's got African rock on it. It's very unique music. But the artwork that these guys do on their album covers is fantastic. And so if you are into the tribal-ish African rock type music. Now, this is not Zamrock. This is different from Zamrock, for those of you that are familiar with Zamrock. But these guys are really cool. The Osibi Rock album, I've been trying to find, due to the shipping in my location. It's not the easiest thing to access. But when I was a kid, my dad had the Osibi Rock one, and it has a song on it called "Who's Got the Paper, Who's Got the Match," which I think was like a minor, I don't know, it's kind of a funky, just a novelty hit, maybe you might call it. So yeah, there you go. Osibisa. I don't think that this album had too much flight in Canada or the United States, but go ahead, give it a check. Osibi. All right, up next we have the subgenre known as Norfolk, which, based on that word, it's got folk in it. And so I picked this up when I was going through that old record station that I went through here in the town that I live in. And it's a gentleman by the name of Osamu Kitajima. And the subgenre, like I said, is Norfolk music. And he borders, this is like 60s, 70s, early 80s. I would call it folky, electronic, new age style of music. That's how I would go with this. Possibly even on the lines of experimental. And each side of the album is basically, an entire series of music with synthesizers and stuff. And it kind of has a theme here. So Heaven Sent is side 1, and then side 2 you go through the cosmic doors, and then Eye to Eye is the closing track. So these are lengthier songs, but in that folky, new age, type music. So give it a shot. Probably not going to be for everyone, but it's kind of cool music. All right, up next we've got Chicago Blues. Chicago Blues, different than Delta Blues and things like that. However, very famous musician. And it's the only album by this blues singer that I have. But this is a really good live album, and that's the Muddy Waters Live. And it's on the Cadet label. But it's got quite a few, really good tracks on here. What Is That She Got? You Don't Have to Go. Strange Woman, Blow and Blow, Country Boy, and more. This is from 1981. So definitely later pressing during his career. But a really good live album. There's the back side. Mr. Kelly's is I believe where the performance was taken. So Muddy Waters Live. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, next one is the album genre known as mento. In a previous video, I did like it's like more like Caribbean music, calypso and all that kind of stuff. So it fits that bill, and that is the mighty Sparrow and Sparrow Power. This is straight up like Caribbean calypso mento music. So if you like that kind of beach style music, well, not beach style, but Carib style music, you will like this album. Calypso time. It's got Sweetness. LeVay Mako is on this one. What are some other tracks here? Chinese Love Affair, Dutch Romance, Learn to Cook. So different style of music, but neat stuff right there. Sparrow Power. All right, up next we have what is going to be the Latin Cubano music. This is a pretty popular album from the 1980s, and that is Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Their album Let It Loose. This one had a lot of their main singles from the 1980s. Let It Loose was the title track, of course. But this also includes Rhythm Is Gonna Get You, Anything For You, and I Want It So Bad. So really cool. Gloria Estefan and Let It Loose. Huge fan of it. Once again, it fits like the Latino, but also the Caribbean style of music, and I guess music from Central America. There you go, Gloria Estefan, Let It Loose. Okay, here we go. We're going to get a little heavier with this next one, and that is the genre or subgenre of thrash music. I don't have a lot of thrash. In fact, as noted at the beginning, these are all albums in which I only have one in this subgenre. And so I've shown this one many times. Many people might consider this their last album that they did before they, quote, sold out with the Black Album, and that is Ride the Lightning, Metallica. This one here's got, a lot of killer tracks on it. Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black. Creeping Death is kind of a creepy song. Call of Cthulhu, or Cthulhu. So there you go, Metallica and Ride the Lightning, fitting the thrash bill. Hard to believe that Pantera started kind of as a thrash band with their first few albums, and then they went into the real heavy stuff in the 1990s. So there we go, Metallica. Up next, we've got contemporary modern music, and this one here that I'm going to show. I mean, you can find this pretty much in any Value Village thrift store that you see. There's thousands of these. The Hooked on Classics series, of course, with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, Lewis Clark, and this one here includes, like, the reason that I guess it's called contemporary modern is that it's basically a Royal Philharmonic sound, so an orchestra, but they're performing all the classic, Beethoven and Mozart and all that. So, we've got Symphony Number 40, Piano Concerto Number 1, Tchaikovsky, Symphony Number 9, Beethoven, Romeo and Juliet again, Tchaikovsky, the 1912 Overture, Ave Maria, Schubert, but all in orchestral form. So the Hooked on Classics, I remember it was, I believe it was a bit of a series. But yeah, you can find this in just about any thrift store. So if you like kind of orchestra, big band type music, set to classical music, there you go, Hooked on Classics. All right, next subgenre or style is nu metal. Perhaps Limp Bizkit and bands like that are best known for the nu metal sound. You know, after the whole alternative scene in the mid to late 90s transformed into nu metal. The only one that I have, though, is Linkin Park. And this one here is the Paper Cuts. I believe it's Paper Cuts. Greatest Hits, though. It's a 2-disc set. And it has all their hits. It's all I need from Linkin Park. I don't think I need their albums and stuff like that. It's got Crawling, it's got Numb, Paper Cut, In the End, Bleed It Out, One More Light, of course, pretty much one of the last singles before Chester Bennington passed away. And they appear to be doing well with their new lead singer and all that. So Linkin Park, really like these guys. Not huge into a whole lot of the nu metal. I'm okay with Limp Bizkit, but if I'm going to go anywhere with nu metal, it's going to be Linkin Park. So there we go. Got a couple more to go here. Next style of music is called abstract music. Now, abstract music, I would almost put, at least in this case, kind of experimental, whatnot. But this guy here, I've talked about him. My mom used to listen to this when I was a kid. And this is a genre called abstract music. And this is Les Crane and the Desiderata album. You'll notice it says deluxe poster included inside. The poster on this one is missing. But this guy was known for Desiderata as his single. It kind of had, some fame here in North America in the 1970s. Basically, it's a spoken word kind of poem based on I believe Desiderata was a poem, if memory serves me correctly, and it's just spoken word. So I do have a spoken word album, which I featured, I believe, in a previous album. And yeah, that's what I kind of would call this, is just an abstract-y, more spoken word type of music. And then last but not least, I started this off with African music and the African sound. And this one here is Afrobeat. And I've talked about this one too. I got this when I was at a flea market. I believe it was last summer or the summer before. 1980s band called Jaluka. And this is their album, Scatterlings. I do have another album of theirs. Now, what this reminds me of, every time I hear it and every time I talk about it, it reminds me of Paul Simon, you know, and the whole Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes album that he did. I forget the name of that album off the top of my head, but that whole sound. And so that's what this kind of reminds me of. And this is on the Warner Brothers label. But Scatterlings of Africa, Spirit is the Journey. Digging for some words. You know, the whole first side of this album is really cool, I think. And so give this one a shot if you haven't checked it out and you're kind of into Afro beats and high life music, I guess they call it, as a subgenre as well. So there we go. Those are, I believe it was 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, so 10 albums for my part 3 of my Music Styles series. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comment section below whether you've heard of any of these bands, if you've listened to any of these albums, or even the subgenres and styles themselves. So until next time, give me that thumbs up, click the like button, and subscribe if you haven't already, if you're a continued viewer to my channel. Continue watching, and I'll try to get some more videos out in the coming weeks now that summer vacation is upon us. So take care, and until next time, have a good one, everyone.